Hi everyone, I'm Abby Stern, a Culpeper Youth Advisory Council member and a recent high school graduate. I hope you all are doing very well today and staying healthy. During this video, I'm going to be touching on two main topics and sharing my experiences from a youth perspective. So the first topic is how I juggled the different aspects of my life and how I managed stress throughout my high school career. And the second is how has COVID-19 impacted my senior year. To preface this video, I want to say that my experiences and opinions do not in any way represent the entirety of the youth, and that each person and each youth experience things differently depending on their circumstances and different aspects of their life. So what I'm sharing today is just my experience and my opinions. To begin, I'm going to talk about the many aspects of my high school career and how I managed them all. So for those of you who don't know me, I was very involved throughout the entirety of my high school career. When I was a freshman, I pretty much signed up for every single extracurricular they had on the list. I was very busy and I held many leadership positions in my high school. On top of that, I took very rigorous courses and I worked throughout the majority of my high school career. So I had a lot going on. I felt like I constantly had something to do, an assignment to complete, or a volunteer activity to go to, and there was never just any downtime. So I was very busy. And the first thing that I learned was that it's okay to ask for help. When you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, it's very common, for you to blame yourself. You put yourself in that position. You're the one that signed up for all of that, but it's okay to reach out. There are so many people in our lives that are more than willing to reach out and help, and that are more than willing to take over when you need it. So that was something that took me a while to learn. I saw asking for help as a sign of weakness, and I saw it as something negative, when in reality it's not. It is a great thing to have people in your life and to have a support system that is truly there for you. For me personally, I like to be in control. I like to know what's going on and how things are going and what's happening, who, what, where, when. And it was very challenging for me in those situations when I did ask for help to let go and let somebody else take the lead on it. Whether that was, a volunteer activity that I was working on, or maybe a project that I needed help on, or even covering a shift at work. I always wanted to be in control, and I always wanted to know what was going on. So when other people took the lead in these different aspects of my life, it was like I needed to realize that it's okay for them to do their thing and I don't have to constantly micromanage. So that was me personally, but I think for every young person, it is something that's very challenging, asking for help, and it's something that can be sometimes embarrassing. So for any youth in your life, reach out to them, ask them how they're doing, be there when they need help, and lend a helping hand when they need it. So the second biggest thing that I learned in my high school career was that it's okay to take time for yourself, and that is so vital. It's vital to not only your physical and your mental health, but when you feel good and when you feel energized, you will excel in the many aspects of your life. When you're feeling constantly run down and overwhelmed, you are going to begin to slack in different aspects of your life and not perform to the best of your ability. And, for the longest time, I've always had a lot going on, and for the longest time, I thought that, I don't have time to go on that walk with my friend, or I don't have time to go to a yoga class, and that would be selfish of me, because I have an English assignment due tomorrow, and I have to work, and on top of it, I have this volunteer activity that I have to do, and how could I take time for myself and sacrifice valuable time to just go on a walk? And my self-care was always pushed off to the side. It was definitely, last on the list, and it wasn't ever getting taken care of. And I think it's something so important that we need to recognize the importance of mental health and the importance of taking care of our mental health and how it impacts the many aspects of our life. When I was feeling overwhelmed and when I was feeling drained, I would constantly be moody or angry or upset. And then on top of that, it would, spill over into the many aspects of my life, and I would feel drained, and I wouldn't feel like I wanted to put work in to these different activities. So I've learned that it's okay to go to that yoga session, and it's more than okay to take a walk with your best friend and just hang out and just focus on you, whatever that looks like for you all. So those are the two main things that I feel that I learned throughout the entirety of my high school career, but I'm sure there are so many different things that others have learned on how to manage their life, and how to deal with the craziness of life. You know, it's not just high school. After high school, there's always so much going on, and it's important, I think, for everyone to understand how to manage that. So the second thing that I'm going to be covering in this video is how has COVID-19 impacted my high school career in my senior year. So I want to begin by saying, outside of COVID-19, growing up and being a young person is already so uncertain and is already so overwhelming. Take a second and look back to when you were 16 or 17 or 18. Did you know what you wanted to do with your life and where you wanted to go, and what were your passions and what were your excitements and what were your beliefs and your values? If you had all that figured out, then you were well above the game, because I bet you that 99% of people and young people have no idea what they want to do. They have none of their values figured out. They don't know what they believe in or what they support, and it's so difficult to figure those things out. You know, growing up is already such a scary thing, and there's already so much uncertainty surrounding it. And for me, at least, there was always a lot of pressure, not just my parents, but in many other aspects of my life, you know, within my school and within, you know, work, of figuring out what I wanted to do with my future and what did I want my future to look like. And there was already so much pressure there and so much, you know, it was just such a scary time for me. And then add a pandemic on top of an already uncertain time. It is scary. And it is overwhelming, and it definitely has forced me to see the world in a different way. And I think it's important to remember to be patient to the young people in your life and be patient with them. Be patient when they get angry. Be patient when they're upset, and be understanding. I don't think anyone truly would understand what it's like to be a youth in these times except for youth, you know, and just be understanding and be patient. I would like to share a really quick story with you all to kind of give a perspective on this. So it was my high school graduation. They were doing it virtually, and I had gone off to work that day, and it was in the evening, and I had come home, and my mother and my sister had decorated the entire living room, all over the porch. They had bought a cake, they had bought all these cute decorations, they had bought candies and really sweet stuff. They'd really gone out of their way to make the day special for me, even though it wasn't what I expected. And when I saw it, the first thing I did was bawled. I just started crying. And I wasn't crying because I was upset with what was going on or was upset with what my mother and my sister did. I was upset because for so many years I pictured this day. I pictured this exciting moment in my life, and it wasn't anything like what I was experiencing now. And rather than my mother being upset or being angry that I was reacting this way, she was understanding and she was patient and she was there for me. And that's what we need. We need people in our lives. The youth need people in their lives right now to just understand. Understand that it's okay to be angry. Understand that it's okay to not always be all right. And I have gone through a lot of emotions these past few months, you know, from figuring out that we weren't going to have the rest of our senior year, and to, you know, having our graduation online. And there were so many different aspects in my life that just weren't turning out the way I expected. And that was so uncertain to me, you know, looking in even the next 5 months for me, it's so uncertain. You know, am I going to be on campus in the fall? What does my first year of college look like? What about after that, you know? And everything is so uncertain right now. So it's easy to be upset, and it's easy to be angry, and it's easy to be very scared. So those are many things that I'm feeling, and I'm sure many things that youth are feeling, but it's already a scary time for us just growing up, and COVID definitely has brought on a lot more stress and a lot more uncertainty. So I know that was a little bit of a long spiel, but I want you all to understand that being a youth right now is very challenging and very upsetting and very nerve-wracking. figuring out our next few years of life. So I'm going to touch really briefly on how COVID has changed the way that I view the world, and how I look at the world. I think for me, at least personally, I'm still figuring out, what are my values? What are my passions? What gets me excited? And all of those things. And I don't think I had a set view or a set mindset on certain things, and now I do, and it's opened my eyes to many important issues in this world. And my boss the other day brought up a really good point, and it was, when you're looking for a job, for the most part, as a 17 or 18-year-old, it's the money. And for many, it's the passion behind it. Are you into, animals? Do you want to be a vet? Are you into helping others? Do you want to be a doctor? And stuff like that. And, now it's forcing us to realize, okay, in the case of a global pandemic and this crazy time we're living in, who still has a job? Who still is getting paid? Who gets these type of benefits of sick pay, and looking at more practical things. And I think that's so important, but it's also so scary for us, because it's like, well, maybe I did want to be a vet, but are they getting paid leave right now? Maybe not. And, now I will adjust my perspective and adjust maybe my future plans. So to recap these last few minutes, it is very uncertain for us. It's very uncertain for everyone, but the uncertainty is kind of just piling on, considering the fact that we're having to figure out the next, 20 years of our lives right now. So to end this video, I just want to remind you all to be understanding and be patient, not only with the youth in your life, but with everyone. And just be a kind person, be kind to others, and be kind to the youth around you. So I really appreciate you all listening to me today and taking the time to, watch this video. I think that it is so beneficial for, people in our community to hear the youth's perspective. And I do want to end this video by saying, I know I covered a few really important topics in this video, and I know we don't have the opportunity this year to ask questions, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you all may have, or if you want to hear a little bit more about a certain topic, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is abbro0530@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to follow up with you guys. So I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day and stays really happy and healthy.